Hey everyone, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Terrania for the Sega Genesis / Megadrive. This is actually a personal favorite of mine, and one I have actually covered multiple times on this channel before. I did a Let's Play many years ago, but that was with my old capture setup, and now that we've got a Genesis via RGB and other goodies I can capture with, we are redoing this Let's Play. In practicing this game again though, just this past week, I've actually learned some new routes through certain levels and some new tricks and strategies. So, you know, we have more than just the quality reason to redo this Let's Play. So, if you guys saw the previous Let's Play many years ago, feel free to kick back and relax. You know, watch it again. Hopefully, you'll learn something new here. And for those of you guys that have never seen this game before or are familiar with it but struggle getting through it, hopefully this Let's Play can help you out with that. So, just yeah, again, kick back, relax, and hopefully you enjoy this playthrough. So, Terrania is kind of a difficult game to describe. Some people will call it a shoot 'em up, and it's got shoot 'em up elements, but that's not the core element of the game. This game features lots of gravity, always sucking you down at all times, and it also is very mission oriented. It's mission focused. If you don't play to the missions and complete the missions successfully, you will die, you'll get a game over, or you'll have to redo the stage over again, and if you keep messing up, you will eventually get a game over. There are no continues in this game, so you really have to know what you're doing in this game. It's not just all about dodging and shooting, although that is a small part of it. It is not all about that. So you need to get, you know, you need to get to grips with a whole lot of different elements in this game. The shooting, the movement, the gravity, the missions, and the routing of the stages. If you don't know the routes of the stages, then you're going to die and you're going to get a game over. So there's a lot of trial and error involved in this game, but hopefully this playthrough will help some of you guys out that aren't as comfortable with it. I've actually been playing this game since a couple of years after it came out. A friend let me borrow this game back in the day, and I just fell in love with it. He guided me through the first couple levels, and so for anyone that has ever had trouble with this game, I've sort of just done the same thing, just guided them through the first couple levels, and then they just go and figure out the rest of the game. And I'm going to try to do that for you guys here that aren't very familiar with this game, or again are having trouble with it. So before we jump into the game though and show off the options and then start actually playing as usual, I'd like to give a big shout out to my current Patreon backers. So those nice folks are going to flash by the screen. Also, thanks to all the recent live streams, super chatters, and channel members. I do live streams here every Thursday night on YouTube, so if you're around, feel free to stop in to say hello, and thanks again to everyone that pitches in during those streams. So here we go. We've got our main options menu. You've got a control setup here, which is nothing too interesting. You do have a training mode, which is actually pretty cool. You can jump into training and then practice your controls and whatnot. It's a really neat feature. So what I actually recommend doing before you even start playing the game, before you jump into it, go into the training mode. There aren't that many old school games like this that just let you goof off like this. So you can just, you know, smash into the walls and just do whatever you want. And whatnot before you even start playing the game. So there is no risk here. You can just do whatever you want, and then you could just go ahead, I guess, hit start and exit. The options menu also has a couple of other things to it. One thing that is awesome about this game is the music, and this game does actually have a sound test menu, and it's actually got you know, titles for every tune, which is really cool. Not something you saw very often on you know, games from this time period. I mean, you had music tests, but a lot of times you didn't actually have music names, the names of each track, which is pretty cool. You also have multiple difficulty modes, so if you're first playing the game for the first time, I highly recommend easy. I'm going to be playing this on normal, and then there is also hard mode. The gravity is just insanely strong on hard mode, and I believe that you probably take more damage from enemies and the surface. So if you run into the surface in this game, you do take quite a bit of damage. So, alright, so with that, let's go ahead and hit start and then just jump right into the game. So if you're playing this for the first time, I highly recommend watching all of these intermission sequences, and I'll go ahead and just let them play out in this playthrough, and I'll read off what they say, and I'll try to explain what they mean. So the gray area in the background is the entire map. So it's a very small map on level 1, but it says the alien attack on this mining site is a result of a long-lasting hostility towards the human race. You have been chosen to launch a counterattack, piloting an experimental attack ship. Alien awareness is low, giving you a chance to get used to your new ship, but remember, time is of the essence. The satellite system is still under development, so SatScan version 1.0 will have to suffice. You will begin and end your mission at this launch pad. So this is where we start. And you must rescue this stranded space fleet spy group. So we basically go over there to the right, pick up some rescues. Your ship is not prepared for underwater missions yet, and it will be later on in the game. So it says you must recover 6 sub-modules to access the alien underwater base. The first sub-module is here. Yeah, so for levels 1 through 6, we gather sub-modules. That's always one of the missions that you have to do on the first 6 maps. And then end of line, and then that's it. And now we basically just jump right into level 1 after a short introduction sequence here. If you've never seen this game before, one thing you'll notice right away is the quality of the visuals. The visuals in this game for 1993 are actually very, very solid. It's one of the better looking games on the system. So to start playing the game, you press the B button to accelerate, and you press the down button to reverse. So you go forward and backward. You can press C to fire, like so. And if you don't fire for a little while, you notice that you have a little bar up there by Mega that charges up. And once it stops charging, it means you can unleash a Mega Shot, like so. And it does a lot of damage, so I highly recommend getting used to doing your Mega Shot as well. It'll allow you to tear through enemies much easier in the game. And that's pretty much the set of controls in a nutshell. You can just keep rotating around, and you don't have to accelerate downwards. You can just let the gravity pull you down, which is what I highly recommend doing. Now you will notice that you do also have fuel. So what I'm going to do here is actually... you know, I'm gonna actually go this way because I don't trust myself. We're gonna grab this fuel tank right here. I'm actually right about to run out of fuel. Once your fuel runs out, you run out completely, and your ship just falls to the ground, and you just explode instantly. And let's go ahead and kill these guys right here. So when you're first playing the game, what I recommend doing is just dropping, just letting the gravity pull you down. Don't start using your gas to go down until you're really comfortable with the game and you've got the maps routed out. So like right here, I'm going to gas over here and then just let myself fall, like so. And one reason I wanted to grab that fuel first is this guy right here, this platform, always destroys it. So you want to go ahead and collect that fuel before the platform destroys it. We're going to shoot this platform too, just like so, to activate it. Grab our first sub-tank, and then just squeeze right by this guy. And then after you've done all the missions, you always work your way right back to base, just like so. And that is mission 1, and then it basically tallies your score. It gives you points for how many prisoners of war you've picked up, how much time it took you to beat the level, and whatnot. And now mission 2. Alright, so mission report level 2, SatScan version 1.1. You will begin and end your mission here. So we start in the middle of the playfield. The sub-module is here. However, the aliens have sealed the entrance to the cave, trapping our men. There's going to be a boss in the middle of the playfield that we have to destroy first. So the game does have a couple of bosses in the game, which is pretty cool. The spy group you rescued report the aliens have built a doomsday device. They believe by destroying it, you can retrieve our troops and the sub-module. So I think they're talking about the boss. This mining area is equipped with rail transports. They allow greater stability when fighting the enemy. And so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first thing we're going to do on this level is hit this and come down from the left-hand side. And you have these power-up tubes here. So if you collect red, it'll power up our main shot. And if you collect green or blue, it'll switch to the green or blue shot. My favorite shot in the game is the red shot that you start with. So what you're going to see me do is just upgrade the red shot primarily. Now those bouncing guys are extremely dangerous, but these rails here are pretty good too. What happens is once you latch onto them, you can move around freely on the rails without consuming nearly as much gasoline or fuel. So what we're going to do is just try to stay on the rail as long as possible, so we don't burn up as much fuel as as we might normally fighting this guy. And when you run into him, unfortunately, he bounces you off the rail, but it's not really a big deal. So let's try to get to the other side. He's got a face on the left and a face on the right, and he's also got this tail on the bottom. We want to shoot all 3 locations, and then after you've done enough damage like so, he dies and falls to the middle. And this is the sub-tank right here, and we want to go ahead and pick up all these POWs. The POWs are pretty much mandatory on the levels where they appear. There are some levels where I don't think you have to pick up all of them, but there are other levels, I believe, where you have to grab all of them. The POWs can be killed. You can shoot them and you can kill them. So you do not want to fire when you're near POWs. Back in the day when I would play this game, I would fail missions all the time because I'd get reckless with my shooting, and I would kill the POWs, and I'd have to redo the mission over completely. So again, more of these spiked guys, these jumping guys with spikes on their heads. Very dangerous enemies. They'll slam you into the ceiling and probably kill you in one hit. Also, here's another fuel canister. We're gonna go ahead and pick that up. Now, you do also get shield canisters in the game. So what we can do is actually come up this way, and this is a shield canister. It's blue instead of yellow. And your shields are denoted by your little life icons in the bottom portion of the screen, just above your score. Those little white icons, those are your lives. But the rightmost life will deplete, and it'll turn to red, just briefly. And once it's fully red, your ship gets killed. You can also blow up fuel canisters as well, just like so. So you need to be careful around fuel canisters. You don't want to shoot them by accident. Otherwise, you know, you might end up losing a life because you killed a fuel canister that would have replenished your fuel, but you didn't. You weren't able to collect it, and then you ended up losing the ship because you ran out of fuel. So, yeah, you have to be very, very careful in this game. It's not too difficult to be careful once you get the hang of things, but you do have to be careful still. Even when you're good at the game, you have to be careful. So it says, mission report level 3, a high-powered mining laser has been commandeered by whatever. You would begin and end your mission here. So we start on the top right-hand portion of the screen, just like so. And it says, intelligence has placed a utility truck here to assist you. It can mount a dropped deflector if the need arises. So there's going to be a laser right next to that number 2 that's constantly shooting out, and we have to use a deflector to deflect the laser. So it says, destroy the alien housing here. They are located behind a security wall. And then it says the submodule is here, defended by the laser. And that is the last part of the level. And that is pretty much it. So they leave you up to your own devices. So they say, okay, there's a laser you have to deflect. Okay, how do you do that? You don't know until you get in and you experiment. So the first thing we're going to do is actually just let our Mega charge up. I always like to do this and just run up and kill this guy in one hit. And then if you're playing this for the first time, just let yourself fall down like so. For me, what I usually do is I just rush down by using my fuel. But I'm trying to play a little more like how you would playing it for the first time. So we do have to gas all the way back up, and then again we can just drop our, you know, just fall down like so. You press the A button to switch to cycle through your items. And what we have to do is the deflector that we had to cycle to it, activate it with the shot button, and then drop it. Now you'll notice that the ship here has grabbed it, and the laser will deflect up. And again, just like so, we're just gonna fall down like this. And it's actually kind of weird doing this, showing you guys how to play it like this, because I don't normally play it like this, and I'm kind of at a loss for words when I do play like this. But it's okay. So these are missiles right here. We're gonna save those for the final 2 stages in the game. Or not final 2 stages, stage 7 and stage 9 in particular. And we're going to go ahead and grab this deflector. This one is a lot more tricky to deal with, but I'll show you exactly how I do this section here. So the idea is to deflect the laser into this wall right here. So what we're going to do first is come down here. What I like to do is line myself up with this truck right here and just go straight up like so. And then we want to drop it to pick up another deflector. But first we're going to grab this fuel, and then we're going to destroy this facility right here. It's good to try to destroy as many pieces as you can because you do get extra lives from points, and destroying these man-made objects do actually give you points. Alright, so now what we want to do is deflect the laser back down, so that's how we actually destroy the laser. We use the deflector pieces to reflect the laser back into itself, which destroys it, which opens up this area, and then allows us to get ourselves the sub-tank. So, you know, not the smoothest run so far, but I haven't died yet, and if I don't die, it's a smooth run. So, you know, we probably will die at least a couple times in this playthrough, particularly on the later stages in the game. Those are the toughest levels in the game by far. But so far, so good. One of the things about Subterrania is you can get accidentally stuck on objects, and you can end up getting ricocheted back and forth between these tiny little crevices and just die pretty much just instantly. And it's very easy to do that, so fortunately it hasn't happened yet. So it now says satellite surveillance has reported enemy activity. Destroy their leader. So this is another boss fight right here. And this one actually highlights the boss, which is pretty cool. So you get a preview of what the boss looks like before you even fight him. And it says a combat squad has hidden here. Retrieve them. So more POWs down there in the bottom right. The sub-module has been placed inside this structure. Destroy it to get to the sub-module. So bottom left there in the center. Now, you know what, I just realized that it's SatScan version 2.0 now, so your scanning abilities seem to improve as you go through the game, and so missions actually sort of become easier to figure out as you go. And that is it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So you start at the bottom left of the playfield, and you just have to work your way up like so. There's going to be another power-up canister up top, or a weapon upgrade canister, I should say. And like I said, I like to stick with red. So we're actually maxed out on our main shot right now. You can go to level 4, but not until level 8 in the game. And what we're going to actually end up doing is just not upgrading to level 4 until level 9, which is the final stage in the game. So by using my Mega Shot, I just got a nice, powerful hit off on him. And so he actually doesn't take that long to kill if you get a Mega Shot. So I'm going to come up top here and grab some fuel. Usually you have just enough fuel to get around, grab the missiles, kill the red enemies, and then destroy the boss as well. So, but if we come down here, we'll actually get ourselves an extra life. So there are quite a few extra lives in the game to help you get through this. Since there are no continues in the game, at least there are some extra lives thrown throughout the playfields, the levels, I should say. So we're just going to take our time here, destroy all this. Like I said, you do get points for destroying these man-made objects, and then you do get extra lives from points as well. There was one playthrough I did where I had, I think, 10 or 11 lives by the end of the game. Granted, I lost a couple getting to the final boss, but by the final level, I had 10 or 11 lives. It was pretty crazy. So right now, it looks like we've got ourselves 8 lives at the moment, and we will definitely have more by the end of the game. So as long as you play well in this game, you can get yourself quite a few lives, and so the whole lack of continues isn't really a big problem at all. And a lack of continues actually can sort of force you to really learn the stages too. And this is another section right here where it's really good to just not use your Mega Charge attack, because you might end up killing the POWs. You'll notice that the Mega actually spreads out a little bit, both behind you and in front of you, so you have to watch out for that. There's also some fuel up here. I don't really need it, but I wanted to show it off just so you know it's there. So there are power-ups and items and whatnot that aren't shown by your scanning technology, and you'll only find them by actually exploring the levels. And it's something I like about this game. You can, you know, it tells you basically what you should do or what the goal is of each level, but it doesn't tell you where everything is. So some exploration is required, which is satisfying, figuring out where things are. And then, you know, along with the missions, you know, sort of routing your best path through the level, keeping in mind the mission structure, but also the bonus items that you've discovered on your own. Alright, so level 5, this one's not too bad either. And now it's SAT scan version 2.1. It says, due to the alien sabotage, this nuclear power plant is about to explode. You must destroy it before its fusion reactors overheat. The plant's defenses are now active. You must locate the anti-shield weapon, which is in the top right-hand portion of the screen. Now, the nuclear facility does have a shield, and you don't want to touch it, otherwise you will die instantly. And it says, after the power plant is destroyed, the atmosphere will be contaminated. You must rescue the 9 remaining workers last seen here. The saboteur has also stolen the module, the submodule. Your weapons are useless against it. Use the reactor core to destroy it. So it's sort of this sand worm, sand scorpion, something like that. Not really a boss, but it is an obstacle that we have to get past. And we get past it by using the object from the nuclear power plant. And that's it. So it should be end of line, and now we can jump into the level itself. So always on this level, what I do to start off is I just kill these guys first. I just sit down here like this and just shoot. Sometimes what you can do is you can just fly up and just aim directly at it. So I'm also just gonna float straight down like so, just to conserve my fuel. And this is where the POWs are. And again, we want to be careful here as we kill these enemies, because we don't want to kill any of these POWs, otherwise we'll fail our mission. And I come up here and kill all these guys. And one thing you can do is just sit down here. Instead of wasting fuel, you can just sit down here, wait for these guys to fly by, and then just kill them like so. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't see any others. So we're going to fly up top here and kill a ship, just like that. Grab the anti-shield fire, and just float down like so. And we're going to select it. It's the skull icon. Get relatively close, fire it. But don't touch the fire until it's actually completely gone. Even when it's blinking, if you touch it, you will die. I actually made that mistake on one of my practice sessions. So we're gonna try to get a fuel tank up here. Hopefully we can get it. Unfortunately, having this item attached to the bottom of us, you know, pulls us down faster. So it takes more fuel to travel the same distance as it would without having it. So we're gonna select it and then drop it right on top of him like so, and then we can grab ourselves the sub-tank and then go back to the checkpoint or the main starting point. So when you play hard mode, there's another element that is activated. So right now, if I pick up an item and it's dragging along underneath me, I can land on ground and it just goes through the floor. If I'm playing on hard mode, if the object I'm dragging behind touches any physical object, it blows up and I fail my mission. So it's another gameplay element that is very, very tricky to deal with. So now it says this mining site produces almost all of the space fleet's fuel. The aliens have activated a Guardian robot here in an attempt to cripple our forces. You must destroy the Guardian. So this guy can be pretty tough, but I have a decent strategy for him, so it shouldn't be too bad. We believe a minimum of 5 fuel miners barely survived the attack. Bring them back to receive medical attention. There was no information regarding the location of the submodule. Search in the area to find it. Once recovered, you will be equipped to enter the underwater regions. So the submodule is actually in the bottom left-hand portion of the playfield, so it's actually not too bad to find. It's right behind the boss. Destroy the Guardian robot, rescue the survived miners, collect the submodule. And that is pretty much it. End of line. Alright, so this level is very, very stingy with fuel, and because of that reason, I'm not going to go down this first area here. All it is a weapon power-up. It's good to know it's there, but there's nothing else down here, so we just waste fuel going to it. So what I like to do is attach onto these, so I can attack these enemies without burning up much fuel. Remember, when you're on these bars, you don't really burn a lot of fuel, but we do have to come down this way, because there are some miners here. There we go. And then we come back up. And again, like I said, we can't upgrade to level 4 of our weapon until stage 8. So there's no point in me collecting any of those weapon power-ups unless I want to change. And I don't really want to change. I want to stick with my red shot. A lot of times what I do is I change weapons just to show you what different weapon types do. But I'm not going to do that on this playthrough. I don't really think it's all that interesting, to be honest with you. So, and I'd rather have a smoother playthrough. Oops, I actually did not mean to do that. I wasn't paying attention as I was talking about weapons. But that's okay. Because I took my time, it doesn't really matter. I took my time. I'm going to have to pick up this fuel canister anyway. So we're exactly where we would be normally. It's not a big deal. So there's the extra life there, some more miners. And we're going to just sort of float our way down this way, just like so. Trying to conserve our gas. This and stage 8 are the most stingy in terms of fuel allotment. And this is going to be our boss here. Wait for him to jump up, use our mega shot, and then let him just jump right into our firepower. Just like so. He's got this really powerful laser beam that will just wreck you. It'll just annihilate your health. And I'm going to come down here and collect that. And this is where the sub-tank is. So it actually probably might not be the wisest idea to get this first, because I need to go over and get the fuel tank too. Otherwise I will die. And we might actually end up dying. Okay, very close. Whew, very close. Let's go ahead and destroy that, get some more points. And then if you're low on shield, you can come up here and get a shield power-up. So that was actually a very good level. We've done pretty much everything. Normally what happens is I'm a lot more tight on fuel, and I have to rush back to base with barely any fuel. So we'll go ahead and kill these turrets right here. And then that's it. We've done everything in this level. We just go back to the beginning. And kind of like I said, I'll just show it to you since we're here. But if you come down here, you'll see that there's just a weapon upgrade container. And so we're not going to mess around with that. But just to show you what it is, that is what it is. So, all right, now this is where the fun starts. The gravity increases quite a bit. Quite a bit on these next couple stages, but now you also have to deal with underwater pressure, because now we can go underwater, and there are a couple of new mechanics that are introduced here. So it says message from superiors. SAT scan is impossible due to the fact water interference, blah 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 blah. Basically, you have no help from this point on. And let's just go ahead and jump into the game. So you have to figure out these last 3 levels on your own. So to start, what I like to do is come down here and get these missiles. And we're gonna go ahead and just let ourselves fall down, but once you're in the water, you have to use your gas to move around. And I like to try to kill those things with my charged mega. So these guys have a tendency of jumping, and they will just annihilate you. So what I like to do in this game is save my missiles for them specifically. And if I... Oh, that was close. I was going to say, if I really wanted to, I could sit here, and that's actually not going to work. It works a little bit. I was going to say, use my missiles on the spiders too. And we have to shoot this, which drops these sort of glowing orange eggs into the water. And it actually breaks open the area that you need to go to. And I always grab this fuel canister next. And then don't touch these things, they will hurt you. So we need to come down and just shoot them. Unfortunately, these things don't actually give you any points, so you don't have to destroy all of them. But there are a bunch of enemies down here. So what we did is we got a, I forgot what it said it was, but it's an item that allows us to just basically reverse the water pressure, and it just pulls us down. And you can use it as many times as you want. So I'm not using any gas now to go down. And I like to kill these guys as I go back up. Get some extra points, but also make sure to clear a path, because if you slam into those piranha-looking fish, they will actually do a decent amount of damage to you. So I shoot them just like so, and then use the anti-pressure item again to get this fuel. And then I let the, as the pressure stabilizes, I just let the water pull me right back up. And that was actually bad because I ran into the fish. Oh, and that's exactly what I was talking about. So I was talking about earlier how you can, you know, just get caught on the edges of the surface and just get annihilated really, really quickly. And that's exactly what happened. So what's interesting about stages 7, 8, and 9 is that after you die, the missile power-ups reappear. That doesn't happen on the previous 6 stages. So, and dying actually sort of reset us. It took us back to the initial checkpoint, or the initial starting point, which is good. So, we have to come down here anyway. Let's go ahead and use the anti-pressure. And unfortunately, these clams are just really annoying to deal with. They take a lot of hits. And now what we have to do is actually use this bomb. I'm going to actually use the anti-pressure. And then drop my bomb right here. Now, a lot of times fish will come down, yep, with the water. And we have to fly over here, and then that's it. That's the exit. So that's mission 7. Now, unfortunately, we did die. I was hoping to do that mission without dying. That would have been really cool. Because I've only done it without dying a couple of times. Once on one of my practice sessions. And then I probably did it once back in the day. So, alright, so this route, or I should say this level is also very picky about the route. Very stingy on fuel. So we're going to do things a very specific way here. We're going to kill that. Come down here. And these floating enemies, they're not actually enemies. They're just, you know, creatures in the background. So they don't actually touch you. We want to come up here like so, and grab this power-up. We need this to beat the level. We have to have it. And then just float back down. I'm not sure if we're going to actually do this, but we want to come up this way. There's a weapon canister. This is where you can get your first level 4 weapon. But we're not going to do that. We're also going to use our mega shot on that guy, kill him in one hit, and then grab the fuel, just like so. Alright, good deal. That's the first half of the level. Destroy this barrier, just like so. We have to hit the switch. Just like that. And then come down this way. And notice I'm barely using my gas unless I really need to. We're going to go ahead and use the anti-pressure to just get us down this way. Oh, it did it again! It did it again! Well, so with that, what I might be able to do is actually come get this weapon power up now. I wasn't planning on it, but now we're at level 4. So we're at level 4 a little bit early. So that is a strategy. You can try to kill yourself and get yourself to level 4 quickly. But yeah, what happened is I basically just bounced back and forth between 2 underwater crevices, and it killed me almost instantly. You can see how quickly your shield can deplete if you're not careful in this game. And I need to get over this way just to get another fuel canister, which I think we got it. Yeah, we got it. Okay, cool. Alright, now a little trick here that I didn't know until just recently is you can actually sit in the water here and just zap this this item up here, this object. And there we go. Now we have to destroy it with our main shot, and then that opens up the exit. And that's it, stage 8. So now we are on the final level in the game. So again, you know, you need to route your stages properly, otherwise you'll just you'll probably end up losing most of your lives trying to figure it out. So always come here first, and what I like to do is just kind of skim this wall just barely. You know, we're gonna kill this guy because he's being kind of annoying. But yeah, you can skim this wall, but we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna actually come down this way because there's one of these jumping guys you have to be really careful about. And we want to grab this. This is the nuclear crystal. What this does is it makes it so you don't burn fuel anymore. So we get to go through the whole level without having to get a fuel container. And there's an extra life down here. So it looks like we have 9 lives right now, and we'll probably end up getting ourselves another extra life by the end of the playthrough. So this is why I mentioned, you know, you can get to this point in the game and have 10 lives. You know, we lost 2 lives getting here, so we would actually technically have 11 lives at this moment. And this is also why I saved my missiles, because more of these jumping guys here, which are really aggravating enemies to deal with. And the missiles just wreck them. As long as both missiles hit, you will kill them instantly. And there's going to be another set of them up here as well. Just like so. So the missiles do home in. They're not the most intelligent homing missiles, I guess you could say, but, you know, they can work. And I especially recommend mainly using your missiles on those jumping guys. So I'm going to try something over here. I don't think we can go to level 5, but I've never actually gotten to level 9 with level 4 already. So we're going to go and see if there's another red pickup. I don't think there is going to be. Yeah, there's not. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like level 4 is the maximum no matter what. So, but I just wanted to check it anyway. Let's just double check to make sure. Yeah, it's only going green and blue. So, okay, cool. Yeah, I figured that level 4 was the maximum, but I just wanted to make sure. Alright, so we're gonna not come down here. That's shield. But that's actually good to know, because sometimes what happens is I do end up taking a lot of damage on this next section here. And because enemies don't really respawn in this game, you can go back to where that shield power-up is in safety and recharge your shield. So we're just gonna go this way. And I'm not gonna really worry about these guys. If I just fly by these guys or swim past them, accelerate past them, I don't really try to kill them. It's not really a big deal. I try to kill them on my way through. Also, these spiked balls will float down. If you get close to them, you'll actually trigger the ones on the right. So let's go ahead and actually just do that. Just sort of get farther down. You can see how this water pressure is just insane. Yeah, so you just get really close to them, and then you trigger them, and then you just you know, float down here in safety. But we do want our charge mega for these crab things. You really want to try to use a charge mega on them, because you'll kill them instantly. Otherwise, they smash you into the walls, and a lot of times you'll end up just dying in the process. Alright, good stuff. Those guys are really dangerous, actually. Then you have a split path right here, but we want to take the top route. The bottom route is actually a dead end. You'll notice that I'm just sort of facing downwards at an angle. This allows me to move to the left or right, but it also makes it easier on me because all I have to do is just press the B button. Instead of pressing down to go reversed, if I'm facing the other direction, I can just press the B button. I find that a lot easier than pressing down. So again, we're just going to face downwards and just gas, like so. And if I want to go up, I just let the water pressure do the work for me. Alright, good deal. We're actually almost at the final boss right now. So that is pretty much most of the level. There are a couple more enemies, but that's the hard part is over with. So now we can come up this way and kill this guy. And then just, what's cool about the water levels is you can just sit on the top of the water, and again, you don't really burn fuel by sitting up there. And there's also a shield pickup. We'll go ahead and use the pressure destabilizer, or the anti-pressure item to do that. And this is pretty much the only checkpoint in the game. We're gonna actually cross a checkpoint, so if you die, you end up just starting right back here, which is interesting. So we're in Sven's cave now, and Sven is the final boss. Yeah, start relocated, as you can see in the bottom portion of the screen. So if we die, we go to that checkpoint. And there's a split path here. We need to go to the bottom route. Top route is actually just a dead end. And now it's final boss time. So the final boss has two forms. And on both forms, what I like to do is just sort of move back and forth and use my mega attack. The mega is insanely powerful. So if you look at Sven's health bar, when I get close and use a mega, you'll notice that it depletes like a nice chunk of health. Oops, I missed, but that's okay. There we go, on the form number 2. So this guy likes to basically charge right at you wherever you are in the screen. So again, oops, I'm dead. I got cornered by him on the bottom right. So a little bit of the same strat. I basically fly back and forth, let my mega charge up, and then get close and just unleash it, and then fly away. died again. So 2 deaths, not a big deal. We're pretty much guaranteed to beat the game, but doing him in 1 life is always very satisfying because this is the kind of boss that I would always get annihilated by as a kid. But using the strategy of basically flying away, charging, then flying back and unleashing the charge is very handy. It does a lot of damage and you'll kill him a lot faster than you would if you just tried shooting at him rapidly. The thing about just getting in his face and shooting rapidly is that you're going to get hit by all of his projectiles and your health is just going to deplete like crazy. And you're going to lose a lot of lives at him if you play that way, which is how I used to always play this game. But now that I've done some more practice sessions, I've found out a better strategy to handle him. And so that's it. That is Subterrania for the Sega Genesis. So it says, congratulations! During the campaign to free the subterranean mining site, you have made yourself worthy to carry the most distinguished title within our solar system, or, sorry, our system of ranks. You have proven to be a brave and cool-minded warrior, and if a similar situation should arise, we hope you will face the challenge. Unfortunately, a similar situation has never arisen, because the studios and company that made this game went under several years later, unfortunately, by the late 90s. So there never was a sequel to Subterrania, there was never a follow-up, but there are other games that are like this, you know, gravity-based, free-roaming adventure shooter games, mission-oriented shooters. I don't even know what you would classify this. We were actually talking about this on stream recently, like, how would you classify this game? And wiki articles at various places will call it a free-roaming shooter or multi-directional shooter, but I don't really agree with that label because you've got the gravity, you've got the mission-oriented aspect of it and whatnot. But yeah, but there are other games like this. Like on NES you had Solar Jetman, which is one by Rare. You also have a more recent one called Gravitron and Gravitron 2. Those are the first. I don't know about the first one, but the second one's available on Steam. And you've got a bunch of other games too that I don't know off the top of my head, but it's an interesting genre of games that I'd actually like to try to put more time into, particularly Solar Jetman on NES. That is a very, very challenging game, and I would definitely like to try to do that sometime. So, but yeah, that is Subterrania, guys, developed by Xerinx, who also actually developed Scorcher, which is a futuristic racing game I did a Let's Play of just a couple months ago. So feel free to check that out if you're interested. And then Scavenger also published, well not published, but, you know, helmed titles like Amok and Red Zone and whatnot. And, you know, which were also pretty cool games. Not sure if I'll ever do a Let's Play of Red Zone. That is a very, very challenging game that I've never finished, but also very technically impressive on the Genesis and Mega Drive. So these guys, Xerinx, they really know how to take advantage of the Genesis hardware, and their games are definitely some of the more impressive on the system. And some of the more stylized, too, actually. I mean, if you just look at that logo, it's pretty cool. So, so once you click Start here, the credits end, and then it goes to a name entry table. Unfortunately, this game doesn't have any sort of backup saving, so your high scores are always wiped out. But that is pretty much it. That is Subterrania, guys. I hope this Let's Play was helpful to you. If you've been trying to beat this game yourself or you needed some new tips. For everybody else, I hope you still enjoyed the playthrough if you made it to this point. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. I've got a lot of Let's Plays on here and many more to come. Feel free to give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down depending on how you liked it. You know any friends that would find this useful, definitely share it to them as well. And, you know, for everyone else already subbed and that likes to do all that stuff, thank you for your continued support. And until the next one, guys, take it easy.